Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Tuesday, the 1st of February, comes to you from London. And we start by looking at the dollar, sinking away a little bit on that short-term 60-minute chart. This is the weekly, daily, and 60-minute long-term, medium-term, and short-term view of the market. So we are just seeing a slight pullback. We had a very strong week last week, so no big surprises that we're giving up some of those gains. There are the daily candles in last week's run, and yesterday we see that fall off and just further falls today, but not really changing the long-term picture. The euro is therefore recovering against the dollar, but again, longer term, still looking worrying. Sterling sitting at 134.70 this morning, recovering through the cloud, but again, the dollar has the upper hand. Although sterling has been stronger against the euro is looking a little bit stronger this morning as well. Bitcoin sitting at $38,000, just back into the high 30s, short-term bullish. Was that the floor? Are we finding support? That will be the key. Be very interesting to see if that was the high, the low, a higher high, a higher low. Can we then go higher to this target of $83,000, which would only be negated if we fell back through that level? Looking at the S&P 500 index, we were up again yesterday, so it looks like we found a floor on the market, and we're not yet through the cloud on that in the bullish territory, but we have found a floor. That's locked the column, so we've got downside potential of 20% if, and this is a very big if, but if we make new lows, downside potential of some 20%. So that's going to be quite key. Looking at the Nasdaq, similar picture here. The downside is greater, some 30% lower, although a lot of that was already done on the shorter term chart. So it will all be about, can the market hold that low? The futures this morning are pretty quiet. The S&P futures up 0.1%. The Nasdaq E-mini up 1/3%. Does suggest the market will open slightly higher, and the VIX volatility has dropped right back to the mid-20s. The fear index has come back into territory where the market is more comfortable, and short-term we're below the cloud, so that's quite interesting there. Taking a look at the FTSE future, we're up 1% this morning. The DAX in Germany up 1.2%. Again, that 15,000 level was pretty critical, and we've broken through that as well. And looking at the Asian markets, we've got Japan was down slightly. Hong Kong, of course, well, we could see the Chinese market is closed for Chinese New Year, so Asia will be quieter. Seeing the Sensex actually up 1%, and the Aussie market was up 0.5%. The Aussie market has had a terrible week or two, and we're just starting to see a bit of a recovery, but it is pretty much a dead cat bounce there, so they're quite interesting to see that. We'll look at the energy mix in a minute. We're seeing soft commodities still looking strong. Sugar up 0.5%, wheat up 0.2%, still gunning for these big targets. Gold back above $1,800. That is good news for gold bulls. Really, it is 1,800 is the critical level for gold to hold. We have given a new downside target that's been activated on the short-term chart, but of course we have got longer-term charts as well. Taking a look at US 10-year yields, we're sitting at 1.77%, so we have pulled back. The market is aware that the Fed has said it will raise rates next month, so that is a degree of certainty. Markets, of course, like certainty. Looking at the energy mix, a lot of red on the screen this morning. Crude oil, we've gone through the roll today, but looking at WCI, we are still holding that run of crude and holding, more importantly, that previous resistance level at 85 there, so that's quite key. US nat gas has got targets in both directions. A lot of volatility since that spike that we saw in the roll last week. We do have a downside target. That looks like that's coming into the fore. Coal has also rolled as well, of course, and emissions just struggling at this 90 mark. That is like a triangle breakout. It will be very explosive if we can break that 90 euros level convincingly, but for the moment we're just struggling to do that. Looking at gas prices, we went out as bearish to clients this morning with gas. We've got downside targets there, and the same here on MBP. And if we look at German power, we're down 2.5% as well. So energy markets down this morning. Quick look at COVID cases. It's been a while since I've looked at COVID cases. Some of the data is a bit spiky. This is coming from Our World in Data. You can get that from your data services menu in Updata. Just select data services. It's Our World in Data. You'll find that amongst all the data services that Updata is compatible with. You can connect these on the fly. So Our World in Data, that's where this is coming from. And we see here that we have got quite an interesting level there as well. So we are just still high in France, pulling over. Germany still pushing higher. Netherlands still pushing higher. European cases pushing higher. Europe has been falling. US has been falling. And really where this shows up, and in places like Slovakia, we're seeing a really big resurgence there. And where this really shows up is in the death rate. So Europe, UK has flattened. US is still rising. France is still continuing to rise. Germany falling away there. So it's interesting just seeing that how the data is varying. We're seeing it creeping up again in Romania and Greece. So we're definitely not out of the woods. Italy is still climbing. So quite interesting to see that. What bearing this is having on markets, I think markets are more concerned about interest rates and what's happening in Ukraine than what's happening with the virus. But of course, this has not gone away, and these charts show that. And remember, you can get those in your system in Our World in Data. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.